Imagine a crowded room, the air is thick with noise, men are scrambling, they are desperate for attention, they are throwing words like cheap confetti. You look beautiful. You have a great smile. You're amazing! And you see her eyes glaze over. She has heard these words 1,000 times before. They are empty calories. They are sugar. They taste sweet for a second, but they leave her starving. She is starving for something real. She is starving for a man who can actually see her. Most men look at a woman and see a picture. They see the skin. They see the curve. They see the genetic potential for reproduction. That is the surface. That is the skin before the mind. But you are not most men. You are here because you understand that attraction is not about flattery. It is about resonance. It is about safety. It is about competence. When you speak, your words must carry weight. They must land like an anchor in a storm. They must tell her that you are not just watching the show, you understand the script. Today, we are going to dismantle the shallow art of the pickup line. We are going to replace it with psychological precision. We are going to discuss 8 specific compliments. These are not tricks. These are observations. These are proofs of your awareness. We call these the resonance keys. They unlock the part of her brain that governs trust, the part of her brain that evaluates mate value, the part of her brain that decides if you're a danger, a child, or a king. Listen closely. We are building a rare community of men who value the mind before the skin. We do not chase, we attract, we do not beg, we select. If you are one of us, if you are ready to leave the boys behind and walk the path of the mountain, like this video now, signal your intent to the algorithm. View us that you are present. Let us begin. To understand why these compliments work, you must first understand the landscape of her mind. Evolutionary psychology teaches us a harsh truth. Talk is cheap, biologically speaking. Producing words requires very few calories. Any man can say, "I love your eyes." It costs him nothing. He risks nothing. Therefore, the female brain has evolved a filter. It is a mechanism designed to detect cheap signaling. For thousands of years, women who believed cheap signals often found themselves abandoned. They were left with children to raise alone. They were left unprotected in a hostile environment. So, evolution honed her intuition. She is a skepticism machine. She is looking for costly signaling. She wants evidence that you have invested resources. In the modern world, the most valuable resource is not meat. It is not shelter. It is a tahon, not the scrolling, frantic attention of a teenager on a screen, but deep, focused, penetrating attention, the kind of attention that cuts through the noise. When you offer a compliment, it must prove that you have paid attention. It must prove that you have studied her. It must prove that you are not intimidated by her complexity. This is where Stoicism enters the blood. Marcus Aurelius reminds us to look at things as they truly are, to strip away the legend and see the reality. When you look at a woman, do not just see the object of desire. See the human being, see the struggle, see the choices she has made. When you compliment her choices, you validate her agency. When you compliment her struggle, you validate her strength. This creates a feeling of being known, and for a woman, being truly known is the ultimate aphrodisiac. It signals safety, so if you know her, you can protect her. If you understand her, you can lead her. Let us walk through the first of these powerful signals. We will start with the way she moves through the world. This brings us to our first concept, Tio. We call this the kinetic observation. Most men compliment the static image. They compliment the noun. Nice dress, pretty hair. These are static, they are passive, and they imply that she's just sitting there, waiting to be looked at. But a woman of value is not a statue. She is a force and she is in motion. The kinetic observation shifts the focus from what she looks like to how she operates. It focuses on her competence. It focuses on her grace under pressure. Evolutionarily, competence is a survival trait. If she is competent, she is a better partner, she is a better mother, she is a better ally. When you notice her competence, you are telling her that you value her utility, not just her decoration. Here is how you execute this. Do not say, "You look great doing that. That is weak." Instead, watch her when she is in her element. Maybe she is driving with precision in heavy traffic. Maybe she is organizing a chaotic family dinner. Maybe she is explaining a complex idea. You wait for a moment of pause, you look her in the eye, and you say, "I admire the way you handle chaos. You make it look effortless." Or perhaps, "The way you move through a room is deliberate. You don't waste energy." Analyze what this does. First, it distinguishes you from 99% of men. Everyone else is talking about her lipstick. You're talking about her nervous system. You're acknowledging her control. Stoicism teaches us that self-control is the highest virtue. By recognizing her control, you're projecting your own values onto her. You're saying, I value discipline, and I see it in you. This creates a bridge of respect. It makes her feel capable. It makes her feel powerful. And strangely, it makes her feel feminine, because you are the masculine presence observing her feminine flow. You are the stillness. She is the motion. You are the harbour. She is the ship. This dynamic is ancient. It bypasses the logic centre and hits the emotional core. She will not just say thank you. She will pause. She will look at you differently, because you saw the effort she puts into making things look easy, and you saw the work, and you respected it. Now, let us move deeper. Let us go past the motion and into the mind. This leads us to the second signal. We call this the intellectual mirror. Beauty fades, gravity is undefeated, time takes the skin, but the mind remains. A woman of high value knows this. She spends hours, years, decades cultivating her thoughts, and she reads, she experiences, she formulates opinions. Yet, most men treat her mind like a blank accessory. They talk at her. They do not listen to her. Or worse, they patronize her. They are surprised when she says something smart. Do not be that man. Be the man who expects brilliance and acknowledges it when it appears. The intellectual mirror is a compliment that validates her logic. It validates her strategy. It tells her that she is not just a pretty face to you, she is a counsel, she is a peer. From an evolutionary standpoint, this is critical. Ancestral men needed women who were sharp, women who could detect danger, women who could solve social puzzles. By complementing her intelligence, you are signaling that you are looking for a long-term ally. You are looking for a queen, not a concubine. Here is the execution. Wait until she shares an opinion or solves a problem. Do not just say, you're smart. That sounds like a teacher talking to a student. It is condescending. Instead, be specific about her process. Say this: I rarely hear people connect those two dots. Your perspective is incredibly sharp. Or, I respect the way your mind works. You cut right through the noise. Notice the language. I respect your perspective. Cut through. These are strong masculine descriptors. You're not fawning over her. You're conducting a peer review. You're validating her reality. When you use the intellectual mirror, you trigger a release of dopamine and oxytocin. She feels seen, she feels heard, and most importantly, she feels safe to express her true thoughts. Many women hide their intelligence. They have been taught that men are fragile. They have been taught that if they are too smart, they will intimidate the man. They will bruise his ego. So they dim their light. They play small. When you use this compliment, you are giving her permission to shine. You are telling her, I am not fragile. I am the mountain. Your thunder does not scare me. Your lightning does not crack my foundation. Bring your full self. I can handle it. There is nothing sexier to a woman than a man who is not intimidated by her power. It allows her to relax. It allows her to stop pretending. It allows her to surrender to your lead because she knows you are strong enough to lead a strong woman. This is the essence of the mind before skin philosophy. We seek depth, we seek truth, and we find it by looking where others do not. Now, let us descend further into the psychological architecture. We have covered her motion, we have covered her mind, now we must cover her choices. This brings us to the third signal. We call this the curator's nod. Every woman is an artist of her own life. She curates her environment, she chooses her clothes, she chooses her scent. She chooses the books on her shelf, she chooses the friends in her circle. These choices are not accidents. They are signals of her identity. They are the external manifestations of her internal world. Most men compliment the result of the choice, but not the taste behind it. They say, I like that dress. The dress is an object. It is cotton, it is silk, it is lifeless. Complimenting the dress is easy. Complimenting the taste that selected the dress is powerful. The curator's nod acknowledges that she has a unique eye. It acknowledges that she has high standards. It frames her as a woman of quality, evolutionarily. We are drawn to indicators of high status. Taste is a status indicator. It shows that she understands value. It shows that she can discern between the good and the mediocre. If she has good taste in life, she likely has good taste in men. By validating her taste, you're subtly validating yourself. because she chose to spend time with you. Here is the execution. Do not say, "You have nice style," too broad, too generic. Look at a specific detail, a piece of jewellery, a way she has decorated her home, a specific book she mentions, and say, "You have an incredible eye for detail. Everything you choose has a story." Or, "I appreciate your taste. It is rare to find someone who values quality over trends." Use that word, rare, quality. You are separating her from the herd and wool. You are telling her that she is not like the others. She's not a follower. She's a curator. This triggers a deep sense of pride. We all want to believe that our choices matter. We all want to believe that we are unique. When you confirm this for her, you become a source of validation that she cannot get from a mirror. A mirror shows her face. It does not show her taste. Only a man of culture can recognize a woman of culture. It creates a secret language between you. It says, "We are the same." Well, we see the details that the common man misses. This builds a tribe of two. It creates an us against the world mentality, and that is a very dangerous and very powerful drug. We press on. The depths are where the treasure lies. We have spoken of her motion. We have spoken of her mind. We have spoken of her taste. Now, let us speak of her spirit. This brings us to the fourth cygnus. We call this the atmospheric shift. Human beings are energy receivers. We are constantly scanning our environment for threats. We are scanning for warmth. Some people drain the room. They are entropy sinks. They suck the life out of the air. They bring drama. They bring complaint. They bring heaviness. But a high-value woman does the opposite. She brings light. She brings ease. When she walks into a room, the tension drops. The shoulders relax. The air becomes breathable. This is an evolutionary superpower. In the tribe, the woman who could diffuse tension was invaluable. She was the peacekeeper. She was the glue. She made the cave feel like a home. Most men feel this, but they do not articulate it. They just say, "You're fun." Fun is a child's word. Fun is a clown. You are not looking for a clown, you are looking for a sanctuary. The atmospheric shift acknowledges that her presence has a physical effect on the world around her. It tells her that she has power, not the power of force, but the power of radiation. She radiates warmth. Here is how you execute this. You wait for a moment when you are together. Maybe you have just sat down for a drink. Maybe you have just met up after a long day. You take a breath. You let your shoulders drop. You look at her and say, "I have had a long week, but being around you, the noise just stops." Or you have a rare energy and you change the temperature of the room just by being in it. This is hypnotic. It tells her that she is your medicine. It tells her that she is your peace. For a woman, knowing that she brings peace to a strong man is a badge of honor. It triggers her nurturing instinct. It makes her want to stay near you. Because when she is near you, she feels effective. She feels like she is contributing to your mission simply by existing. That is a very low friction way to be loved. She doesn't have to perform, she just has to be, and that is liberation. Now, let us move to the fifth signal. We must address the mask. Every woman wears a mask. Society forces it upon them. Be polite. Be nice. Smile. They build a layer of armor to survive the world, but armor is heavy. Armor is exhausting. When she feels safe, she takes it off. She shows you a crack. She shows you a fear. She shows you a quirk that isn't perfect. Most men miss this, or they try to fix it immediately. Do not fix it. Honor it. This is the armor breach. This compliment rewards vulnerability. It reinforces the behavior of being real. Stoicism teaches us that truth is the only good. When she shows you her truth, even if it is messy, it is a gift. It is a sign of trust. Evolutionarily, we only show our soft underbelly to those who will not hurt us. We show our neck to the protector. When she breaches her own armor, she is testing you. Will he run? Will he judge you? Will he use this against me? You must stand firm. You must be the harbor. Here is the execution. She tells you something slightly embarrassing, or she admits to a mistake, or she shares a worry. Do not say, "Boo." Don't worry about it. That dismisses her feeling. Instead, look her in the eye. Use a low, calm voice. Say, "I appreciate you showing me that. Real is better than perfect." Or, "I like the version of you that doesn't pretend." That takes courage. Courage, that is the key word. You are reframing her vulnerability as strength. You are telling her that her softness is not a weakness, It is a virtue. This locks her in. It creates a psychological contract. Here is a man I do not have to lie to. Here is a man who can handle my shadow. Once a woman feels this, she is yours, because the world is full of judges. The world is full of critics. The man who accepts the armor breach is the man who gets the loyalty. Speaking of loyalty, let us move to the sixth signal. We call this the moral anchor. In the modern dating market, character is often overlooked. We look at the packaging. We ignore the product, but you are a man of wisdom. You know that beauty without character is a trap. It is a painted pin. It looks bright, but it gives no heat. You are looking for loyalty. You are looking for kindness and yes. You are looking for integrity. When you see these traits in her, you must call them out. You must name them. The moral anchor complements her values. It tells her that you see her soul, not just her biology. It elevates the interaction from a transaction to a spiritual recognition. Evolutionarily, character traits are the best predictors of long-term survival. A loyal woman ensures paternity certainty. A kind woman ensures offspring survival. These are deep, ancient drivers. When you complement her character, you are signaling that you are playing the long game. You are not looking for a knight, you are looking for a legacy. Even if you are not looking for marriage, you are looking for quality. Here is the execution. Observe how she treats others. Observe how she talks about her friends. Does she defend them when they are not there? Does she treat the waiter with respect, catch her in the act of being a good person, and say, "I noticed how you treated him. You have a good heart." That is rare these days. Or, "I admire your loyalty to your friends. It shows me exactly who you are. It shows me exactly who you are." This phrase is heavy. It implies that you have assessed her worth, and she has passed the test. Women are constantly being tested on their looks. They are rarely tested on their honor. When you validate her honor, you distinguish yourself from the wolves. You become the shepherd. You become the king. It raises her self-esteem. And a woman whose self-esteem is tied to her character will strive to maintain that character around you. She will want to live up to the image you have of her. You are calling forth her highest self. Now let us lighten the mood. We must talk about joy. This brings us to the seventh signal. We call this the serotonin spark. Stoicism is often mistaken for misery. People think Stoics are emotionless stones. This is false. Stoics embrace positive emotion. We just do not become slaves to negative emotion. Joy is a vital resource. Laughter is a release mechanism. It lowers cortisol. It bonds the tribe. When a woman makes you laugh, when she brings a spark of genuine delight, you must acknowledge it, but do not use the standard line. "You have a nice laugh." Too simple. The serotonin spark focuses on the effect her joy has on you. It is about the contagion of her happiness. Evolutionarily, a happy mate is a fertile mate. A happy mate is a cooperative mate. We are drawn to light. We are moths to the flame of vitality. When you tell her that her joy affects you, you're giving her power over your mood. In a controlled way, you're saying, "I am rot, but you are the sun. You warm the stone." Here is the execution. She is laughing. She is telling a joke. She is excited about something trivial. Smile. Let the smile reach your eyes and say, "Your joy is dangerous. It's impossible to be serious around you." Or, "I needed that laugh." You have a way of lighting up the dark corners. Dangerous. Lighting up. These are dynamic words. Calling her joy dangerous is playful. It implies that she has cracked your stoic defense. It is a flirtatious challenge. It creates sexual tension. It says, "I am strong, but you have found a weakness." And that weakness is her light. She will love this. It makes her feel like an enchantress. It makes her feel like she has a magic spell that works on you. And in a way, she does, finally. We arrive at the eighth signal, the most powerful of them all, the ultimate compliment a man can give a woman. We call this the Kingmaker's mirror. Every man wants to be great. We want to build, we want to conquer. We want to leave a mark. A high-value woman inspires this drive. She does not drag you down, she pushes you up, she challenges you, she makes you want to be sharper, stronger, better. Most men are too insecure to admit this. They think admitting a woman influences them makes them simp. This is nonsense. The greatest kings in history had queens who sharpened their steel. Marcus Aurelius had Faustina. Justinian had Theodora. Admitting she inspires you is not weakness. It is the ultimate display of confidence. It says, "I am already a king, and you are worthy of my court." The Kingmaker's mirror tells her that she reflects your best self back to you. It assigns her a role, the muse, the catalyst. Here is the execution. Use this sparingly. Save it for a moment of deep connection, maybe after a long conversation, maybe after she has given you a piece of advice to look at her. Hold the gaze and say, "You make me want to be better. You sharpen my mind." Or, "I like the man I am when I am around you. You bring out the best in me." This is the nuclear option. This is the compliment that makes women fall in love, because it gives her a purpose in your life that transcends sex, it transcends money, it makes her a partner in your destiny. If a woman believes she makes you a better man, she will never want to leave, because nowhere else will she find that level of significance. She becomes invested in your success, because she helped build it. These are the 8 keys: the kinetic observation, the intellectual mirror, the curator's nod, the atmospheric shift, the armor breach, the moral anchor, the serotonin spark, the Kingmaker's mirror. But before you use them, we must pause, we must consult the code. There is a danger here. These are powerful psychological tools. They hack the female operating system, they bypass defenses, they create deep and chemical attachment, and with that power comes a Stoic responsibility. This is the Stoic lover's code. Do not use these words if they are not true. If she is not smart, do not use the intellectual mirror. If she is chaotic, do not use the atmospheric shift. If she has no taste, do not use the curator's nod. Flattery is a lie, and a Stoic does not lie. Lies weaken your reality. They fragment your mind. If you say things you do not mean just to get sex, you are not a high-value man. You're a manipulator. You're a weakling. You're acting from scarcity. You're begging for validation by trading false coin. Do not do this. Use these keys only when they fit the lock. Use them to highlight the truth, not to manufacture a fantasy. When you speak the truth, your voice carries weight, subconscious weight. She will feel the difference between a scripted line and a genuine observation. One feels like slime. The other feels like solid ground. Be the solid ground. Be the man who sees the gold, but only points it out when it is real. This makes your compliments scarce. It makes them valuable. It makes them earned, and something earned is always cherished more than something given. Summary of terms. Let us recap the arsenal. 1. The kinetic observation, complementing her competence in motion. 2. The intellectual mirror, validating her logic and strategy. 3. The curator's nod, respecting her taste and choices. 4. The atmospheric shift, recognizing her energy and warmth. 5. The armor breach, rewarding her vulnerability and courage. 6. The moral anchor, valuing her loyalty and character. 7. The serotonin spark, celebrating the joy she brings you. 8. The Kingmaker's mirror, admitting she inspires your growth. You now possess the language of attraction. You have the keys, but keys are useless in the pocket of a coward. You must walk up to the door, you must turn the lock, you must speak. The next time you are with a woman, do not look at her skin, look at her mind, find the truth, and speak it with the weight of a mountain. Wonder, question for the brotherhood. Which of these 8 traits is most rare in the women you meet today? Is it the loyalty, the intellect, the peace? Let me know in the comments below. I read them all. We are building a community of kings. Join us, mind before skin, always.